Hello, welcome everyone. This is my first live stream, so I apologize for any negative effects or drawbacks I might have. Um, for a long time, I wanted to prepare some AI video about ChatGPT and other language models, but it was really difficult for me to get the time together and prepare something, record something, and show it to the public. So I decided it will be better if I just go for a live stream straight away, and I will start talking about ChatGPT, about artificial intelligence, about large language models, how I think they should be used, what are they good for, and then if there is some question, you can definitely type it in the chat, and I will try to react right away, and talk about any issues or questions or interests also you might have. So I invite you to give me questions in whatever manner you would like. So, where could we start? Well, obviously with ChatGPT, since this is a live stream for ChatGPT, but we will also have a look at other large language models. Why start with ChatGPT? Well, obviously it's I think most of us, majority of us, were introduced to ChatGPT as the first artificial intelligence that actually seemed intelligent and was capable of writing a text that's unrecognizable from human written text. So ChatGPT was the first, but it wasn't. But they made the move, and they went public, and they presented this front end, this interface for you to be able to chat. So yeah, and then suddenly we could see that immediately right after ChatGPT was introduced to public, you had Bard, and you had a Claude, and a bunch of other models. Then immediately it went open source, and now 9 months or 10 months later, we already have many different kind of artificial intelligences, many different kind of large language models, closed source and even the open source one. So it's actually very interesting. It's developing at a very fast rate, and so it's difficult to catch up with everything, but we have to start somewhere, right? So let's start talking about ChatGPT and large language models, what it is. Basically, if I should say, in my own words, there is no actual entity, there is no actual mind that you would be interacting with. However, there is a deep neural network that can recognize patterns, and they kind of broke the barrier where it can actually, the deep neural network can recognize the patterns in a language so well that it can actually imitate the language itself. The principle upon which it works hasn't changed for many decades. It's been known for a long time. We just didn't have the computing power to actually accomplish that. So basically, it really is just statistical computing of what letter should follow the previous letter in a word, in a sentence, and in a broader context. It's it doesn't actually have it doesn't perceive the world just like the same way we do. It's still just advanced algorithm that can recognize patterns, and it did, and now it's emulating whatever was written, and it's doing a very good job. So not only it can generate text per se, but I mean, for exactly the same reason, it can generate code as well, and in all kinds of programming languages. So, but before we get to these kind of things, let's start from the beginning. In December, when I actually discovered ChatGPT, I immediately started to generate a lot of content. Well, after the first phase of philosophical questions of who you are, etc., I understood how it works and what kind of tool it is and how it can be used and leveraged for all kind of different purposes you might have. Basically, a lot of us, majority of people in their daily lives and in their daily jobs do work with a computer in one way or the other, right? I mean, even if not directly, majority of people, or really a lot of people, simply spend a lot of time creating digital content, right? And this technology, this large language model, in a sense, it can create a large portion of that digital content. And since already a lot of digital content has been created, and neural networks could have learned from that, that's what they did, and now they can generate pretty impressive texts, because well, they read all the best texts from all the professionals all around, and yes, it also read all the bad texts and poorly written passages. Nevertheless, I mean, that's why it's so capable. That's why if you want to talk in a certain way with the intelligence, or use, let's say, just some simple words, then it will do it for you. And if you want to get advanced, and if you want to talk about quantum physics on a philosophical level, then it will do that for you as well. But it's just a language imitation, well, just right. So when I discovered that, I wrote this book. I did like half of it was for free, and another half of it was for some money. You can still buy it on Gumroad. Nevertheless, here in this stream, or in the future videos, I will just simply go through the whole table of contents. Because it's already been a long time, and I don't need to sell it. Most of it, did I use ChatGPT to write this book? Well, of course I did. That's one of the points. But obviously the whole the idea and the structure of it, that was all me, right? I mean, I was thinking about how should I structure the capabilities of the technology, because more and more I talked to it and about it, and discovered several ways or things you could ask, and it will spit out. It was giving me more and more ideas and possibilities, and it was suddenly I realized, well, it's actually even difficult to put a structure around it, to say, I mean, what is the interesting thing? What might people be generating, or how they should actually even know what to do, how to ask, right? I mean, it was difficult in the beginning, so that's what I tried with this book. Now, several months later, we already have well, a lot of us already know a lot of things about AI and how it works and how you should be talking to it. Nevertheless, there might still be a lot of people who don't know, and in any case, I think it's still good to just have a look at all the possibilities and as many possibilities as possible, and then you might that might get you going to start thinking about your own ideas or new ways you might be approaching some problem or issue you had to deal with. Um, okay, so when we look at the table of contents, uh, what I did was create several categories. Uh, they were named Ask. So you can ask any kind of question, whatever you are interested in, whatever has been nagging at you, or perplexing you. You didn't understand something, or you might have been afraid to ask for something. Then I think this is a great tool for that, because there are no judges. There is nothing. You can just ask whatever comes to your mind, and it will do its best to answer your question. Now, not only it understands many things about the world, right? I mean, it understands many things about the world from the text it has read. So it knows about people, it knows about relationships, it knows about, it knows about things that exist in our world and how we interact with them, what are our thoughts about them, because it read all of these things in all of those books, online digital texts. Uh, so it understands, and whatever you ask it, it will simply answer just like a human would. Um, Besides that, since it is artificial intelligence and it does have some kind of database or memory or whatever you want to call it, it simply knows something, right? Just like we do. It learned something and now it knows something. So not only it knows about the world, just like I described right now, it also knows and remembers the books, movies, and all kind of artistic work that has been created by people, all the expressions. So then it's very interesting because you can talk about the books, right? You can talk about the book, about the main theme of the book, about the characters, about the main ideas, right? What was the purpose? Why did the author write the book? What was the main idea, right? Uh, so that's very interesting. Then again, you might be talking about the movie. You might be talking about a theater play, right? Then what's also very interesting, the possibility to ask about all the all the things, how they work, for example, electricity, or weather, whatever you are interested in and might have seem uh, difficult to understand. Now, these AI tools and large language models are giving us opportunity to actually understand even more complex ideas. Uh, so I think it definitely opens up that possibility. So feel free to ask about anything. What I also found interesting was that, for example, when you ask to explain something to a child, that's one way, a very good way to do it, because it will then use simple vocabulary and simple analogies to what's familiar to a child, and then try to explain that complex issue in that analogy. So it's very, very useful, because it's thing that most people are not actually capable of doing, and even the best teachers might have difficulties, sometimes, from time to time, or to somebody explain something, right? I mean, sometimes it just doesn't work. Sometimes somebody just can't be told and explain what it means. But when you are talking with the artificial intelligence, in whatever manner you ask the question, in that manner it will answer. So it will use your language. It will bend to your will, basically. If you let it, if you instruct it just properly. So what does it all mean in practical terms? I mean, if you don't know, well, obviously, I mean, explain, summarize. So give me a short summary of crime and punishment. All right. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of another book title right now, so I had to go to the most difficult ones ever. Okay. So I ask for a short summary of crime and punishment. Well, first of all, it knows that Crime and Punishment is a novel written by Russian author Fyodor Dostoevsky. When it was written, right? And then it starts to talk about the story. So the story follows the life of Rodion Raskolnikov, an impoverished and intellectually gifted student in St. Petersburg. Becomes obsessed with the idea of committing a perfect murder to prove his theory that some individuals are morally justified in committing crimes for the greater good. He proceeds to murder an old pawnbroker and her sister. Well, to be sure, I'm not really sure right now if it's correct. I thought I remember that he murdered uh, the lady who owned the flat, right? The owner of the house he was living in. That's what I think happened. So, now it's very interesting. Okay, so okay, what I will do, I will use another AI tool. It's actually this, if you don't know, this is called Perplexity AI, and this is actually a search engine, but powered with large language model, actually. So with ChatGPT. So it will do the search live and verify. So let's do the same thing. Let's try to ask the same thing, if it can do it like this. And what it gives me, well, right now here you can see, it has sources. Immediately it gives you sources from Britannica. So now here we can feel much more confident that the information will be correct. So let's. He decides to murder a pawnbroker. Okay, and her half sister Elizaveta. Okay, so I apologize, but it's good to verify, and I also showed you right away another tool, which is very good. This artificial intelligence search engine. So go back to our ChatGPT. All right. It's giving us the correct information. So as I was saying, not only it understands that Crime and Punishment is a novel written by a Russian 19th century. It knows the story, and it can explain. It gave us a short summary, and it could do anything else with the text we would ask it to, right? I mean, if we would want longer summary, we would ask for a longer summary. If we would like to talk about main themes in the book, even though it mentioned something. Ultimately, it explores themes of morality, guilt, redemption, and the consequences of one's action. It delves into the complex psychology. We could, build up, ask follow-up questions, whatever we would be interested in. We want to know the details about Raskolnikov's, mindset, before, that the murder happened, or whatever you might be interested in, and you can just start talking about it and get the information you want. So basically, you can talk with any book, with any movie. You can talk with any person, so because all of the authors or famous people or simply people who have a lot of their what they said or wrote is online, has been digitized or is digital, then it might have been, and ultimately it probably has been taught on that data. So it has a very good sense of what it means when you actually want it to, let's say, act as somebody. So let's say you want to have idea what Elon Musk might say about something. So you have something going on in your life, or whatever problem or whatever you are interested in, and you will describe it. And if you say, what would Elon Musk, what would, I don't know, anybody else might think, whatever the person of your interest is, or whatever, from which person would you like to get an opinion, right? And then it's very interesting because that person never said something like that, obviously, because he doesn't know you and he doesn't know anything about your issues. But from the patterns of the language, from the way the person has been publicly expressing himself or herself, then it will give the best possible approximation of what the person could really say when you ask that question. So it's really interesting. So it's not Elon Musk replying, but in a sense it might be. So in a sense you might be talking to Fyodor Dostoevsky, because not only it knows crime and punishment. Okay, so what other novels or texts written by Dostoevsky do you know? So now it will give me probably a list of every known text from Dostoevsky. Let's say Brothers, Notes from Underground, Idiot, Demons, Gambler, Eternal Husband, Adolescent. All right. Yeah, so some of his most well-known works. Well, I could ask, are there any others? Give me more. I could, pick one. I could now ask for a summary for each one of them. I could pick one, and let's start talking about the Brothers Karamazov. What's the main theme? What are the problems? And or if you already know what's going on, but you might be thinking, right? You might be wondering why something happened in a way it happened, right? So now it's your chance to actually ask even the book itself, or possibly the author of the book, how he would approach, or what he meant by that. That's very interesting. That's the ask part, to summarize, explain. To give me a list of ideas. We go to creation. That's where I went for the second category in the book, called create, because once you ask for the information, you immediately want to start generating something and create something on your own that actually comes to your mind. So So that's when we went for the create, and from the name of the chapters you can see, generate ideas, is it possible, how can I, basic content, outlining, writing, step-by-step emails. So basically in this section, what I found was that ChatGPT is really good for giving you a list of something, or brainstorming new ideas, giving you the possibilities or themes, options to consider, or a list of ingredients for a recipe, whatever. And then it can right away, it can also create content. It can create short content, long content. It can create all kinds of different formats, right? Be it a video script, podcast script, or a blog post, or ebook chapter, all of these things, and it will act accordingly. It will understand what the format of that thing is, and it will plan accordingly what it should do. Also interesting is it possible, and how can I? So because I think in today's world, many things are many things that are possible. People don't realize they are that possible. They are that easy to achieve. Sometimes it's the other way around. People think too much. Too much has been achieved, and we can do magic and that kind of thing. But sometimes they also underestimate, those things. So what I found also in my personal experience is that ChatGPT gave me a lot of clear views on how things work, and how, or if it's possible to do something by yourself, or how then could you do that thing by yourself, or if not, what would you need for it? What are the other things that you need for that goal you set, or the idea you might have. So this is just it's just crazy, because it's like having your it's like having it's like basically a little bit like having other self with that all the information stored in it, so and then you can discuss and iterate and talk back, and see where it goes. So that's creating. All right. Well, I'm pausing because I try to go online, and I try to invite some people through Facebook group, but unfortunately, nobody has shown up. So I will stop it here. I will leave it for now, and if I can see some feedback for this video, either in Facebook or on YouTube, we can definitely pick up and do another stream with more people interested, and with some interaction, because I would like to see questions during my presentation, when I talk, when I speak. Yeah. So I will try to plan. I will make a schedule for the next stream, probably tomorrow, and I will try to promote it in the Facebook. So stay tuned, and sign up tomorrow. Okay. Bye.